Greetings, Earthlings. Today we're stealing a page directly out of Austin Evans' playbook, and we're going to be looking at the ultimate travel podcast setup. Now, before we get into it, I will point out that, of course, you could go a lot simpler, a lot smaller, and a lot safer by going with a USB dynamic mic like the ATR 2100 USB or the Samson Q2U, but this is the ultimate travel podcast setup, and this is America. So we're going into this thing on the back of a freaking bald eagle, so let's get into it. Now, one of the most important components for your podcast will be the microphone, and you may think I'm crazy, but I opted to go with the Electro Voice RE20, and the reason I did that is this is the first microphone I tested that made me consider switching off of the SM7B. It also does a pretty good job at background noise rejection, and it comes with this really nice hard shell case, so I'm not scared about throwing it in my luggage. Then for the microphone stand, I went ahead and got the Ammoon MS-12 foldable desktop tripod thingy because most desktop tripods are just flimsy and garbage. This one has a really wide base, so it's not going to tip over, and it just feels a lot better built than a lot of the garbage out there on Amazon. Now, to store almost the entire travel podcast kit, I picked up the Timbuk2 Stealth Folio because I'm a big Timbuk2 fan, but also this thing is very compact and it has all the organization that I would need for this kit. Now, as far as the computer, I am an Apple fanboy, and I decided to go with the 2017 12-inch MacBook. I know a lot of people hate this thing. They think it's a little kid's toy, but I have run into no issues with this thing in terms of recording podcasts or even 1080p video editing on the road. It has done everything that I need it to, and it is small, it is light, and it is insanely portable. Now, for the interface, I didn't want to sacrifice anything in the preamp department, and I wanted it to be small enough for travel, so I opted for the Apogee One, and that's because Apogee has some really nice preamps, and this thing is just really small and well built. Now, to connect the microphone to the interface, I went with a 3-foot Mogami XLR to XLR cable because I am a big fan of Mogami cables, and being that you're on the road, you're not going to know what kind of RF interference you run into, so you're going to want a really good and properly shielded cable. Then as far as the headphones, I opted for the Shure SE215 IEMs because the Apogee One has a 3.5mm headphone output, and I don't have room in my bag for a set of studio cans. Now, of course, these aren't going to be the flattest or most accurate headphones out there because they are relatively budget IEMs, but if you're just mixing on your laptop on the road and you have something like SonarWorks TrueFi, you can get it a lot closer and get a pretty good sound and mix out of these things. Now, as far as accessories for the computer, I obviously am going to have the charger for the 12-inch MacBook, but I also have a USB hub from Satechi, which has some SD card slots. It's got an additional USB-C port, an Ethernet port, 3 USB-A ports, as well as an HDMI port, so it has pretty much everything that I would need to connect to the MacBook. And then for the mouse, because editing on a trackpad can be a nightmare, I went with the Logitech MX Anywhere 2S. This is nowhere as good as the MX Master in my opinion, but since it is a travel mouse, this thing is so tiny, I'll go ahead and make a few compromises there. And then to wrap it all up, I am recording this into Logic Pro X on the computer, and then I am running it through a whole bunch of plugins, but we'll go ahead and cover that on another video. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. This was the first time I just did a random video for the 4th week in this release series, which I don't think I've actually announced on this channel, which I should probably do. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. Want more videos, subscribe, logo beneath me, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.